super glad you're here today. It's going to be a bit of a different style vlog, as you can probably tell from the title of this video. Today we are in Boston, and we're actually leaving Boston today to go to Kennebunkport, Maine, and then on to Portland, and then over to New Hampshire and Vermont and back down through Connecticut and Boston. And it's just a really fun time. It's my mom and I traveling, and I'm hoping to bring you along. We are excited to see some fall foliage. We've already been feeling some true fall temps. It's been like low 60s since we got here. We flew in yesterday afternoon after a long day of travel. Airport was crazy. Hartsfield-Jackson is always busy, so I have a 3-hour rule, but I've never had to actually be at the airport 3 hours before our flight took off and it be needed. Yesterday it was. So thankfully we had the rule. We got it. We got through security and everything just in time to board the plane, and it was fine. But then, you know, travel days are always long. So we did manage last night to squeeze in a tour of Fenway Park, and it was so cool. I had to rep my Braves jacket, my daddy's Braves jacket, while we were there, but it was a really neat historical experience and something that was just super, super fun. And yeah, so we actually did the last tour of the day at 5 o'clock. So we finished out on that note. We ate Wahlburgers just before because there was one right by the park, and it was really good. So yeah, then we came back and just settled into our hotel room for the night, got some rest, and now we are about to head down and get breakfast and then go see what we can find for the rest of the day. I'm trying my best to film as much as I can to capture just the environment of the towns that we go to and through, but I also have a love for photography, so I'm trying to take a lot of pictures and, you know, obviously enjoy being in the moment as well with my mom. So trying not to let the camera get in the way of any of those things, but I'm doing my best. So glad you're here. Let's go. Oh, we're in Maine. Yay!
It's so weird that Maine crosses up in the middle of
the water, yeah.
Is there water?
Wow, that's so beautiful and massive. Y'all, there's just something special about Maine. I've been there twice now, and something about it every time just feels like coming home. And it's nothing like home, which is why it's so interesting to me. But as we traveled from Boston up to Portland, there's a kind of scenic coastal highway called 1A that you can jump on and see a little bit of the coastline. And so when you do that, you go right through the town of York, which is where we are here. And we just sat out there and watched surfers for a while, which was so much fun. And then not far beyond that was the Nubble Lighthouse, which you're about to see in a second. We didn't even have any of this planned. It was just like, as we were driving, these were things that we saw signs for, or, you know, we saw the surfers out on the great big waves there was recently a tropical storm that had passed through. So they were getting great surf, and we just sat out there and enjoyed it. We just kind of took our time making our way up to Kennebunkport, which is a tourist stream. Honestly, if you were to Pinterest search this town, this pumpkin display is what you would see. It's so cute, and I wish I had gotten more footage from there, but my camera died. So then right outside of there is Walker's Point, which gives you just an amazing view of George H.W. Bush's summer home, as well as along that coastline there are so many massive, beautiful homes, and I just drooled the whole time. So then we made our way on to Portland, and this is a fun story because 5 years ago when Nicholas and I went, we ate gelato at this place. We just went through late at night, and it was one of the places that caught our attention. It was open. We were just passing through. So Mom and I went, and we had gelato there. It's still just as good. So yeah, then we just took our time walking around the town of Portland, going through some bookshops, gift shops. We walked down to the harbor. We strolled the cobblestone streets. We ate gelato. We watched lobster boats. I mean, really, it's just a cool town. And it was a day well spent. Let me just preface North Conway, New Hampshire by saying I did not do a great job of capturing the town, but it is super cute. We started our day off as soon as we arrived by getting coffee and mom hot chocolate at this coffee shop called The Met, and I'm pretty sure it may have used to have been a bank. It at least had that vibe about it. And then we went to Zeb's General Store, and there was such a long line out the door to get into this place. It was one that on all of the articles that we had read in prep for this trip said to definitely be sure to go. So I guess that everybody had read that same thing. And the line moved quickly, so it wasn't a big deal. But honestly, it was kind of just your typical general store. It was cool. It was cute. But we saw a lot of those on this trip, so I'm not going to share a ton of footage of every single one. I did want to show you this moose, though, because is that cool or what? Anyways, I ended up getting like a coloring book and a piece of maple candy. So then we sat down on a park bench to figure out what we wanted to do next after we'd kind of walked through the town shops. And someone had mentioned Mount Washington on a Facebook post from the previous day that I shared. And I just thought, why not look it up? Well, then I saw that you can actually drive to the top, not knowing how intense that drive was going to be, and I thought, why not? That sounds great. We'll get a beautiful view, we'll see like this awesome landmark, and probably find some fall foliage along the way, which we did. And as you can hear, mom's like freaking out, and I'm pretty ecstatic about it too. Oh my gosh, is that just beautiful or what? But yeah, so we drove up Mount Washington, and I'm just going to sit back and let you hear the original audio from that experience.
Would be having a cow.
Oh yeah.
Because Tammy's not doing real good on it. It is something to see, but geez. Cheese, Louie. Oh, thank God. Has it been 30 minutes?
Mm-mm.
I'm driving a bus up through Bent Tree or Big Canoe right now.
See, you've been so well prepared for this moment. You're doing a really good job, Mom. Really good job.
He's up here.
Is it really 28?
36 right here.
36. Wow, this is crazy.
We did not bring clothes for this.
We brought all the clothes we have for this. Yeah, we see it. See, Mom, you're so close. Oh my gosh, it's beautiful.
Maybe when I get up there and we can breathe.
You're doing so good. 26 degrees Fahrenheit, 7,000 feet above sea level, and some of the strongest wind gusts in the world to ever be recorded have been recorded from this very mountain. The people in front of us in line to get this picture, they actually hiked it, so they were pretty ticked off that they were having to wait in line behind all these people who drove up, or there's a tram. Some people rode the tram up. But listen, I get where they're coming from, but at the same time, after what my mama went through to get us to the top of that mountain, I think we deserved one too. So that was a really, really unexpected, really neat experience. And the drive back down wasn't so bad either. Actually, it was much better than we figured it would be. So then we came back and ate lunch in town at a place called the Muddy Moose, which had been recommended to us by someone that Mom knew from up north. And then we went to her pick for our outdoor adventure, which was the Echo Lake Trail. It's a state park right outside of their downtown area. It's a simple 1 mile loop, very flat, goes around this beautiful lake. And yeah, we got there 45 minutes before the gates closed and still managed to finish and have plenty of time to spare. And that was even with stopping for pictures and video. Okay, I feel like it's been forever since I talked to you guys, but it was literally yesterday morning. We have just done so much, as you've seen some of, and it's been really fun. However, last night we had a pretty rough hotel experience. We're staying in a different place every night because obviously we're going to a different place every day. So we spend the day somewhere and then stay the night there, wake up, and move on to the next place the next morning. And last night was just bad. So we got out super early this morning and we are just now getting to our new place, but I'm happy to report it's way better. So it's these little Swiss chalets, and a lot of what's around here in, where are we? North Conway, New Hampshire. A lot of what's around here is like bed and breakfast style, which is super fun, but this has been like, this is just such a sweet little place. Like, it's so fun that we're getting to stay here, and as you can see, like, the doors are green, the furniture is like turquoise and orange outside, the building itself is shades of brown. It's just very rustic and Swiss feeling, and I just love it. And I'm looking across at this like fall foliage and like mountains in the distance. It's just, I love Maine, but New Hampshire has been such a breath of fresh air, literally and figuratively, after what all we went through last night and this morning. So I did want to briefly explain, I wasn't planning on being on this trip originally because my mom and dad booked this trip like over a year ago. So August 2022, my mom started planning out this trip. And then my husband, Nicholas, his family takes a beach trip every year, and we've been going with them the last couple of years, so they planned their beach trip for this week, so we had planned on going there. And then, completely unexpectedly, as many of you know if you've been around here for a minute, my dad passed away about like a month and a half ago, so it was already like too far in for my mom to get deposits back and change plans without losing a ton of money. And so, a long story short, I ended up coming with her. And it has so far just been a really sweet time for us to get to spend together, get to not think about the rest of life together, just to be able to have fun. We've laughed so much, and we've just kind of went with the flow and done what we want. Like when we see something fun or something that, you know, we wanted to do, we just pulled over and did it, and it's been super great. So that's been nice. But I have worn Daddy's jacket. I asked Mama if I could borrow one of his coats because it was supposed to be cooler up here, so I have brought him along in that way, and we've seen him show up in a couple of unique ways that we've enjoyed. But yeah, we're just having a really great time, and pretty tired, but also I think that we rest similarly. Like, we like doing easy little nature hikes, but we also enjoy laying in bed and watching superhero movies. And we both wake up early, but we like to go slow in the morning, so it's just been a really nice time. And we're only on Monday, like full day 2 of like 6. So, wow, there's so much happening, so much going on. I'm trying to film, but we're just packing it all in and making a lot of memories. So, like I said before, that's the priority. And the girls and Nicholas made it to the beach safely with his family. They've been sending me pictures, and they are so loving life. Like, they're staying in a wonderful place. They are having a blast, and I just have FaceTimed them a couple of times, and they're just so sweet. So while I miss making memories with them, I'm super thankful for this time of rest and just newness, and New England's beautiful in the fall, so we're having fun.
construction signs.
Yep. The drive on day 4 from New Hampshire to Vermont was just beautiful. We went through the White Mountain National Forest, which is what you're seeing here, and everywhere we went, it was just so pretty. So much yellow, but also covered with evergreens to contrast, and then just roadside waterfalls, and so many parts of it were just amazing. And it really wasn't a long drive. It was like, I think 30 minutes through that national forest, and it was just so pretty. We enjoyed it a lot.
Did you get it?
Yep.
Church. I want you to know that.
We stopped in Waterbury to see the Ben & Jerry's Flavor Graveyard, and then we went on through Stowe, up slightly north of downtown to the Mansfield Gondola, and rode up the mountain to the Cliff House restaurant, which is the restaurant on top of the mountain. Mom had reservations because that was highly recommended, and good thing too, because even though this was officially their off season, we did not get seated until like 5 minutes before our reservation, because the 1:30 reservations were still running late at like 2:15. So they have a big grace period if you're considering going here. But let me just tell you, it was a fun experience, and the food was good too. It was a neat time. Not as bad.
That looks good. Oh, we're going down a lot faster.
You think so?
I don't think it'll take 12 minutes to get down. It'll take 5. Unless they stop us to it.
Yeah.
Boy, watching your face. You know those bugs.
Like the first couple's okay, but when it keeps going. So we did end up circling back to downtown Stowe after our gondola ride, because when we tried to find parking prior to the gondola ride, it was midday and it was insane. So we came back, found a spot, much better, and then we just walked around the town. Again, similar shops. I mean, they feel different when you're walking through them, but it's not like we bought anything. Like, I think I got a postcard because that's what I get from everywhere, and Mom might have gotten like a magnet or something, but it, you know, you just get your little souvenir, you see the town, you appreciate it, and then you move on, and that's kind of what we did. You guys, I love Vermont. If you are from here, you got it so good. And I know I get it, like seeing it from a tourist perspective is so very different than when you actually live in a place, especially than like when you've grown up in a place. But I just really like it here. I've been wanting for several years to take like a long weekend trip up to some kind of cozy cabin in Vermont and just take books and like listen to podcasts and wear cozy socks and like make fires in a wood burning stove. And I have yet to find the perfect Airbnb rental for that. However, somewhere around Stowe, Vermont might be where I need to look. Okay, so this was unexpected. Mom found a waterfall that she wanted to go see, and it's like the one day that it's been raining. Of of course, but I was all for it. It was like a quarter-mile hike. More of a hike than what she anticipated, but it was still really pretty when we got up there. She wouldn't let me go past a certain point. It was making her nervous, so didn't get the best footage that I probably could have, or pictures, but it's okay. I wanted to make Mama happy, so it's all good. But also, I wanted to tell you, today is the day that I have probably been like most looking forward to on this trip. I didn't have a great idea of like what our itinerary was. She had sent it to me, but I was trying to just be like, yeah, I'm just along for the ride, so whatever, I'll go whenever, wherever. But I knew at some point during the trip we would be just having like a full day of Vermont and driving the scenic highway. I think it's 100, bypass 100, something like that, and going essentially from like northern Vermont to southern. We're only like 20 miles from the Canadian border right now, but we will end up down around Westover, the Mount Snow area by tonight. I'm going to take you along as we go down the scenic route today, and we hope to find a lot of things fallish. Like we're hoping to find a lot of like cider mills, cider houses, sugar farms, cheese makers, donuts, all of those things. So come along, let's see what we can find. First stop. Here we go. Okay, so first up on our driving day, the first stop we made was at the Cold Hollow Cider Mill, and it was maybe 10 minutes south of where we were staying in Stowe. So this was really fun. We got to like watch how they actually press apples into cider. So I can't remember off the top of my head what it's called when they shoot the apple chunks out of this leaf blower looking thing, but then they put it onto all these mats, wrap it in some kind of like cheesecloth, it seems, and then press it in this machine, and it is just amazing. So then we tried it afterwards, and you'll hear my mom's review, but in short, it was just really good. It was definitely fresh from the apples. Thank you. What do you think?
It's good.
Tastes like apples, doesn't it?
It does. The fresh apples.
Yeah.
Have all that cinnamon and stuff mixed in. So after we got us a half dozen of apple cider donuts and watched them bake something, we couldn't figure out what they were making, but we just drove on down the road, and this is where it really got pretty because we saw a bunch of people pulling over in this one curve, and we thought, well, let's get out and see what it is. And we saw a waterfall in the distance, but then as we walked down further, we saw this beautiful one just right on the side of the road, no hike required, even with the rain coming down. Honestly, I just feel like that's what makes all of the fall colors pop. I love it whenever you have moody fall days, so this was a treat. So we've made it like halfway down the scenic route, and it's like 12:30, so we were looking for a little hole in the wall for lunch, and I think we have found one. So let's go check out what we got. So the little town of Hancock, Vermont was named after John Hancock. This is the old Hancock Hotel, which is now a gift shop and restaurant. We both had the grilled cheese and tomato basil, and let me tell you, it was perfect and just so comforting for this rainy day. And then as we were continuing to drive, I can't even tell you what town this was. We just saw this beautiful little park with a gazebo in it and all these leaves falling. So we pulled over and just hung out in the park for a couple minutes, took it all in. Then we went on down to our first sugar house that we'd ever been to. And this was really neat to see where it is that they process the syrup at. And they were making some maple candies while we were there, and then they brought out some fresh syrup samples, which were super sweet, but I love sweet stuff, so I thought it was fantastic. And then they also had a gift shop and some traditional Vermont cheese for sale, so I've been looking for it. I was glad we finally found it.
Okay, so we got what's called creamies. Mom got a cup, I got a cone. It's from maple syrup.
I think so.
We don't really know, but
Something to do with syrup.
tastes a lot like ice cream.
Like ice cream.
But it's good. Like, I don't think I taste any maple.
A touch.
You think so?
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. It's huge.
In Chester, Vermont, we checked it out because it's the only actual town in Vermont to ever have a Hallmark movie filmed in it. I thought it was kind of spooky. But then we moved on to Weston and found a great general store and the classic Vermont country store, which they have a few locations, but this is one of the big spots that they say to hit on the drive. So we did it. It was fun. It was cute. Lots of Christmas stuff. That's always great. But then we ended up in Westover here at the Mount Snow Grand Summit Resort.
Oh my word. So I just realized that I kind of forgot to talk to you guys for the last half of the evening. Not really the last half, but for the last little bit of the evening. Like, our whole day today was, the plan was to just take our time, diddle daddle along the way, stop in and see the things we wanted to see or whatever seemed interesting. Just like take in the sights and enjoy Vermont. And that's what we did. By golly, we took what was supposed to be a 3-hour drive and made it into like an 8-hour drive. So we have just arrived and gotten settled into our hotel room for the night. My mom is actually starting some laundry for us. Bless her heart. We just brought carry-on bags, and maybe tomorrow morning I'll give you like a little, I'll show you what I brought. It was very minimal, very light, but layers because we didn't know exactly how cold it would be. And good thing too, because of all of the adventures we've done, we have really hit some, like a wide range of temperatures for this trip. However, tonight we are staying in Westover. This place is so nice. I mean, it's not anything like overly spectacular, but it is a resort at the bottom of a ski slope. Like, it has the ski lift right outside, and it's just like the whole mountain behind us it's a ski resort. And so I think it sounds maybe fancier than what it is, but there's a spa on site, and there was a fireplace in the lobby with a fire burning in it. So I'm saying it's nice. We've stayed in not like dingy hotels up to this point by any means. There was the one poor experience that we had this week, but otherwise they've just been like your typical trustworthy chain hotels, which is great, and they've been wonderful for us. But this one is super special, and yeah. So tomorrow's actually my mom's birthday, and we are heading down to Mystic, Connecticut, but I have not been able to come up with anything like great. She's just a hard person to like do gifts for. She just loves fall and loves Christmas trees and loves to just kind of enjoy the simple things in life, which is a beautiful quality to have, but makes it really hard when people are trying to buy you presents. So just kind of gonna see what comes up along the way. Like with the spa here, they do massages, obviously. So earlier I was like, we've been riding a lot. Like, you want a birthday massage? We can schedule one before we leave tomorrow. And she was like, no, you treat yourself. That's not really my thing. So I was just like, well, dadgummit. But don't get me wrong, I wouldn't mind one. But probably just going to bypass that since she's not really interested, and it's our birthday that I'd be getting one on. It just doesn't feel right. So anyways, we are currently watching the Braves. That's kind of been like our how we finish every other night, because they're playing every other for this playoff series right now. So they're playing the Phillies, but the Braves are struggling tonight. 2 nights ago, they gave us a great game. I mean, correction, the first 7.5 innings were not great. They were awful. We were like, what are we doing? However, they came through at the end and won, and it was such a fun game. And I've been wearing Daddy's Braves jacket around, and the number of comments we got about that game has just been super fun. But tonight's not looking so hot. Anyways, Mom's having laundry trouble. She has to like download an app to be able to pay to use the laundry and all. But anyways, Braves are struggling. We're hoping they pull through, and they've already lost one game of the series. It's best 3 of 5. So anyways, it's only the 4th inning, so I have hope that we will come back strong. But I gotta let y'all go so that I can get back to this. I also need to call and order food because there's supposed to be a restaurant here on site, but as we were checking in, he was like, and the restaurant won't be open tonight, naturally. So there's one place in a nearby town that delivers, and out of, like, she gave us a sheet, printed out sheet full, like front and back, of list of restaurants in the 2 surrounding, like 2 little towns close by, and only one delivers. But they have everything. So I'm going to call and order our food while Mom works on laundry. And we're going to hope that the Braves give us a win tonight. But, I mean, they just closed the inning on a good note. 3 outs with a runner on third. Anyways, y'all don't care, but I do. So, see y'all tomorrow. So very quickly, this is what I packed. Swimsuit. I have like basic tees, long sleeves. There's 4 plus I'm wearing 1. My overshirt, pair of jeans, pajamas, rain boots, tennis shoes, and then I brought Anne of Green Gables to read, my makeup bag, my Braves jacket, and yeah, then I'm wearing a black tee with leggings. That's all that I brought for clothing, so very minimal, like I said. And then like I brought an umbrella. I brought my tripod, but I don't have the right mount for it, so didn't even need to bring that. I made do without it. And then I'll show you my camera bag really quick too, because it's also my backpack, and I'll have it linked down below because I really like this bag. Okay, so here's this bag, and let me just show you why I like it so much. I, as some of you may know, have recently went to having 2 camera bodies, and it's just hard to find a bag that holds both. So it's not perfect, but it's reconfigurable, so you can move all of these things. So I have my Rebel camera, and then I have lenses down here and other mounts. Then over here I have all my charging packs, my memory card adapter for my phone, and then the top portion is like a normal backpack. So I have my phone charger, my keys, my wallet. That's where I've been keeping my book. Just all kinds of wonderful things, and it's super comfortable and easy to carry despite the amount of stuff that's in it. No, you can't. Where am I? Yeah, maybe that's. Birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Mama. Happy birthday to you. Yay!
So the first thing we did when we got to Mystic, Connecticut was check out the Old Mystic Village shops. These were actually not far from our hotel at all, but they are about a 10-minute drive from like the actual downtown Mystic, which is right on the harbor. So this was super fun. I thought that it was going to be kind of like a ghost town in this area, but there was actually a lot more to it than what we originally anticipated when we were parking. So the whole area was just beautiful, birds chirping, beautiful landscaping. I was taking so many pictures of their landscaping on my phone so that I could implement some of those ideas back home. And they also had Great Bear heads in one of the stores, so that's kind of a big deal to me. If you grew up in the 90s, maybe it is for you too. So then we headed into actual downtown Mystic on the harbor, which was so fun. Finally got a lobster roll, a Connecticut style, because apparently in Maine they use mayo, and in Connecticut you can get it with just hot butter and lobster. So it was very good. I like regular lobster, so I don't know if it was worth the hype, but either way, got our seafood. It was yummy. And then we sat here and just watched the old drawbridge go back down as boats came through, and we just enjoyed this little park on the harbor. We saw where Mystic Pizza was filmed, which I had never seen. Now I have. I feel like I have been informed, and also it was rated R, but it was like back in the day rated R, so whatever that means.
We made it. We survived driving through Boston for now. Now we're going to explore it by foot, and I think it'll be a lot better.
Boston was a fun way to finish out the trip. We started by eating lunch at Cheers, which was originally called the Bullfinch Pub. It inspired the pub for the show Cheers, but it wasn't actually filmed there. However, now they do have the bar from the show in their restaurant, if that makes sense. Then we walked some of the Freedom Trail. We didn't do all of it. We just did a good bit of it that kind of led us back to where our hotel was in downtown. This cemetery here had a lot of historical figures buried there. Paul Revere, Mother Goose, several more. This is the site of the Boston Massacre where it occurred. I'm pretty sure this bagpipe player was tuning, at least I hope so. And then we walked down by the harbor and saw the site of the Boston Tea Party and where all of that took place. Yeah, and then we just took our time walking back. We didn't ever feel threatened by walking the streets of Boston, just two women alone, as maybe you would in some other big towns. But we did want to get back and check into our hotel before it got dark out. So it's not like we were out very late either.
Okay, so it is our last night of the trip. We're finishing it out here in Boston. It's been a very fun day. I will say, I don't know, everything had its own parts that were enjoyable, but obviously we're small town people, so I think the small little cutesy towns that we've driven through over the majority of our trip have probably been like more our style. But Boston is, from what we've seen, and my husband has been here before, so what he's told me, like the best big city. You know, it doesn't feel quite so big. Maybe because there's so much history, or it's just laid out super well, and I don't know, it's a cool little place. So this was fun. This was a good way to end it. We did a lot of history stuff, as you've seen, and yeah, we just had a really good time with it. But it is like 6:30, maybe 6:45, and we are so tired, but it's a good thing because we are leaving from our hotel at like 4:30 in the morning to catch our flight is at 8:40, and we just need to return our rental car and then take a shuttle from the rental center to the airport, go through security, all of those good things. And with the way that security was coming here in Atlanta, hopefully it won't be nearly that bad here in Chicago. We're not in Chicago. Hopefully it won't be near as bad here in Boston, but we talked to someone like halfway through the trip that was like, oh yeah, Logan, that's a fun one, so good luck. And now mom's pretty nervous about it, so I think it'll be fine, especially with our departure time being so early. When we came here, our flight time was at like 11:45 a.m. and that's just the prime time, you know, for flying on a Saturday. So I don't know, it could be bad. I could be saying at the end of this, I was wrong, my bad, but hopefully we're hoping for the best. So we are going to call it an early night tonight. We actually, when we got to our hotel tonight, it's like right here in downtown, which is super fun. It's just, like I said, it's just different than what we've done all week, and it's a really fun way to end the trip. But we got here and they told us our room was ready after a few minutes of us waiting. And then we tried to use our key and there was like this big mix-up. Housekeeping was like, oh, that room's not ready yet. And the key wasn't even working on the door anyways, so it was just whatever. And so then when we went back down, the front desk was like, we are appalled, and they tried to switch us to like 3 other rooms. It was just this whole thing, and we were like, you know, things happen, whatever. But they gave us a voucher to their like restaurant and pub here on site, as like a we're so sorry, please forgive us and don't write a terrible review plead. And so we just went down to the pub. We had leftovers from lunch that we were going to do for supper, so we just got like, each of us got an appetizer from the pub, and then we ended up getting a massive dessert. It's like brownie alamo, and so it's got, you know, like brownie and fudge and syrup and ice, like vanilla ice cream, and it's just gonna be really good. But we're currently letting it like saturate. We just got that to go, and so we're gonna grab our showers and then go ahead and like fill up water bottles, reconfigure our bags to make sure that what we've gotten throughout the trip to take back to loved ones, that it all fits and meets the carry-on requirements for like fluids and stuff. But yeah, what a fun time. So I'm probably going to go ahead and sign off here. I'll do a little outro so that you can see how the airport situation goes tomorrow, and then I always just love footage of flying. I think it's just so cool whenever you're like, if I sit in the window seat on a plane, I don't even care if there's a movie on that screen. I don't care if I brought 3 books and have 6 podcasts downloaded. I'm probably going to spend my entire time looking out the window. Anyways, I'm so glad that you guys have come along for this. There have been so many stops along the way. Like I've said, we've just had such a fun time. It's been such a sweet time, made a lot of memories, and I think the more that, like, as I put this together and we're able to watch it back and process all of the places we went and the things we've seen and look back at pictures and all of that, we're just going to continue to enjoy it more and more. So definitely recommend New England in the fall, whether you're doing the city or the small towns. Like, all of it is just so beautiful. The way that we did it was really sweet. It's like we got to see the impression of each town and got to enjoy just like the overall feel of it, and then move on to the next and enjoy that one. And yeah, so it's just been really fun. But thank you so much for being here. Thank you for coming along. I hope you have a great day wherever you're at, and I'll catch you next time. Bye guys.